All right, and welcome to episode 2 of Nerd Supernova Podcast. I am your host, Paul Michaels, and my co-host.
I'm KJ McDermott. What's up?
Alrighty. So, yeah. Basically, we're going to change it up a little bit today because we try to keep it mostly adhere to superheroes, but, obviously the new Star Wars trailer came out, so we're going to want to talk about that. And, obviously, to start out the beginning of the conversation, I want to talk about the Back to the Future day. Basically, October 21st, 2015, the day that Marty and Doc travel to in the future in Back to the Future Part 2. I had the day off, so I was lucky and was able to marathon all 3 movies and had a blast. You and I basically nerded out like later when you got home after work and stuff.
Yeah, I had to work all day and then had other stuff to do, but it was still fun. I was talking about it at work with people, and I was surprised at how many of my coworkers had never seen Back to the Future. And
That's crazy.
Yeah, so many.
That's like one of the American films you have to have seen in the last 30 years at least. Like and Star Wars, Jaws, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, like movies that everyone has at least seen once.
It's funny the list that you made of who directed them.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like to you. Very briefly, because we got to get to talking about the trailers later on. But very briefly, what does Back to the Future, or more or less the series and Doc and Marty, mean to you as like a person, basically, as a nerd?
I loved those movies growing up as a kid. I mean, everybody watched them. Everybody it's who doesn't love a good time travel movie?
I know,
and it's so hard to get one that's actually really good at it. Because there's so many
that don't do well,
miss
or
the mark. We've got,
or they set up the rules and they don't adhere to the rules, or they go crazy, or something like that.
But I mean, Back to the Future is just well written. It's funny. It's adventurous. I don't know. There's the cheesy jokes. There's the running gags through all 3 of them. That
exactly.
It's just a fun movie, and it's interesting to look at where they thought we would be, or where they kind of thought we would be.
Well, I mean, Zemeckis and Bob Gale, who wrote the screenplay, basically have said that they knew that they weren't going to get it obviously right, because how are they supposed to really predict? But they basically were like, okay, what future do we want to see? We want to see an optimistic future, a fun future. What future? If we're going to be 30 years, what do we want to see in 30 years? Oh, flying cars, hoverboards.
We turned into Pip's future.
We don't think we're that bad, but we're definitely not as good as we could be. I mean, honestly, the College Humor, did a joke with the a cartoon, basically just showing the actual future that Doc and Marty would arrive in.
I saw that.
Yeah, and it was very funny, but also very depressing too. And honestly, I would prefer the 2015 that we got in the movie to this one. But I mean, you get what you get. Yeah, to me personally, the movies are great. Every big series, honestly, that when I really think about it, that I got into was through my mom. Like, she got me into Indiana Jones. She got me into Star Wars. She bought the box sets and stuff like that. Back to the Future, however, was the first real series that I myself got into. They used to air the marathon of all 3 movies back to back to back all the time on USA Network. So I used to grow up watching those, and I obviously got into the series. I'm like, oh, what's this? Ooh, time travel, and then the rest is pretty much history. Yeah, no, not Doctor Who, not Doctor Who, because God knows they don't give a crap about their timely wobbly bullshit.
Hey,
no, okay, fair enough. After Russell Davies and David Tennant left the show, I mean, Matt Smith did okay, but anyway, yeah, Back to the Future, great movie and great series. I love the trilogy. I think it's a great trilogy. My only thing, because people ask should there be a 4th one? I say yes and no, because I think the 4th one, I don't even know if they could technically call it Back to the Future 4, but I think what they should do is they should just do a continuation, because obviously you can't do Michael J. Fox, because Marty McFly did not have Parkinson's in 2015. I mean, but I'm not.
If they ever did a sequel, I think it would be Doc Brown's kids.
Yeah. Well, this is what I talked to you about. I'm saying it should be more about. Now, I think they should obviously make reference to Marty like all the time because I think they would have known him a little bit and known him basically as Uncle Marty. Because I kind of feel like Doc. Because then I only watched bits and pieces of the animated series, but I always did believe that Doc would just come back at some point and visit Marty more than just the one time. Because they were really good friends. I don't think they would just end the friendship right there. I think he would come back and say hello at some point.
He's like the Doc's only friend.
Yeah, more or less.
Everyone else thought he was crazy.
He probably would have made friends, I guess, through time, apart from Clara and whatnot. But yeah, I'm with you, and that's what I said to you. I'd want the next series to be about Doc's kids. You could still do the Doc and Marty type aspect because you could have one of the brothers be really smart and been more like his dad, and then...
And the other one needs to go to the bathroom all the
time. Yeah, that is a weird thing at the end. For those of you who don't know, that if you look closely at the end of Back to the Future 3, you can see little Vern edging the camera closer and pointing towards his pee-pee, basically indicating to the cameraman that he had to go to the bathroom. But I'm saying that's, yeah. But no, I think they can make one of the brothers very smart and the other one kind of more Marty-ish. Like, even though he's done the whole thing with time travel with him being around his dad, he hasn't ever paid attention, and like the other brother has to keep saving him or rescuing him. Or maybe one of the brothers manipulates time travel to his own means, and the other brother has to like keep, shepherding him and finding him and being like, stop getting money from a game.
Doc has an evil son who goes through.
Well, no, not evil, just like mischievous. Like he just takes advantage of it. Because why not?
Loki and Thor.
Well, but not like okay, Loki can get really evil though. All right, well, anyway, that's the idea that I would want. And I think that if they wanted to, they should honestly, if they could, bring Michael J. Fox in for a cameo or something. But it'd be very difficult because I know I love the fact that he keeps acting and he keeps doing his own take and everything. But everyone loves Michael J. Fox so much that they literally are like, yeah, you can come on our show. We'll write a character with Parkinson's so that you can do your thing, Michael. That's awesome. And then they just let it be pretty much. And still, I love Michael J. Fox. I'd love it if he could do a cameo too. And obviously, I think they could have a whole mission in the movie, like where the Brown kids have to find their dad, Doc Brown, because maybe something happened or whatever. And then obviously you'd have a cameo of Christopher Lloyd at the end if you want. Because Christopher Lloyd is still really awesome. I think he's definitely one of the most underrated actors of like the past couple decades. Because he was so good in that role. But he also is just a good actor in general. You only have to watch Taxi or Roger Rabbit or any of a bunch of other stuff that he's done.
Addams Family.
Yeah, exactly. He was a great Uncle Fester.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's love Back to the Future. Awesome series. Will continue to be timeless and great. So anyway, let's move on to the main topics that we wanted to go over, was trailers. This is going to take up a big portion, I think, of our next segment here.
Let's get to it.
But yeah, so you saw it before I did, or you were watching it as I came in the door from work. I knew it was online, and I got home late, and then I watched it, and then you watched behind me because you wanted to watch it again. So in so many words, what did you feel about the new trailer, like, overall?
We were talking Star Wars.
You were talking Star Wars, yes, the new Star Wars. I mean, I think everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Star Wars trailer, the newer one, I loved it. I mean, we had, like, the teaser one before with a little bit, and, like, the whole, like, Chewie, we're home, and whatever, but this one actually made me gasp, actually made me, like, giggle like a little kid out loud, and, like, you were walking in as I was going,
I know. And I was like, shut up, I haven't seen it yet, shut up!
Like, but it brought me back to my childhood and made me excited for a movie like a kid again.
Yeah,
which there haven't been many trailers like that.
Yeah.
And who knows, the movie could still be crap. I mean,
oh god, I hope not.
The trailer was
knock on wood.
The trailer was awesome. It made me really excited for it because this again is, I grew up with the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
I grew up with the toys and the video games and the books and all the other stuff, and it's just such a big part of my childhood was Star Wars for a good many years.
Yeah, man.
And to see these movies, which look so much better than the prequels already.
In a lot of ways,
yeah,
definitely. Well, let's, I mean, right off the bat, I think everyone already knows this, but the fact that J.J. Abrams took so much care to really take the time to do a good mix of practical and CGI effects, like, only when you need to.
Like having actual actors and actual sets
and actual puppets.
Yeah.
And
I prefer puppets over CGI.
Yeah, man.
Puppets and makeup.
Seriously, but like, yeah, man. I mean, there's no other better way to say it. Like, it looks great. That's the best thing I can say about it. So, my personal interpretation, my favorite trailer actually is the one right before this one. Like, I know you said it's a teaser, but I love that trailer because it showed it was. I thought that one was perfect because it showed
with Luke talking.
One with Luke talking, and the one with Han and Chewie at the very end. That for me is the perfect trailer because it got me excited. But again, like, I agree with you. It got me excited, made me feel like a kid again, and it just at the end, and you just want to like jump out of your seat and be like, yes. This new trailer is great too, but honestly, and again, overall, and I cannot reiterate this enough. Disney really has done an amazing job of just advertising this so well
without
and not
giving stuff away.
with not telling us really anything apart from what we know from like action figures and their names and stuff. That's about it.
Even then, they could be tricking us with action figures.
Yeah, they've even
talking about that the other day.
Yeah, people were saying, and I agree with them too, that certain characters' names have probably been changed for the action figures because they don't want to give away anything. I mean, they can still do a. I assume they'll still do some type of twist because Leia. We didn't even know Leia was a Skywalker until Return of the Jedi. Yeah. So I mean, who knows? But yeah, honestly, the new trailer was great, but really all it was just a bunch of amazingly well done money shots. That's basically the best way I can explain it. I mean, literally, if we didn't have the John Williams theme, it would have just been like money, 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 money. The Jedi, they're real. Money, money, money.
It might just be money shots and everything.
Oh no!
They put it together. Where it's like the slow build and it's really quiet, and then the music, the classic theme starts to come in, and it just like builds and it builds, and then it's just like, oh my god!
Yeah, no.
It's like sex. You start out slow and then you build to a climax.
No, but I definitely agree with you. Like, when I talk about advertising, I don't just mean it in the way of the fact of like them not showing anything. Like those trailers are really good. Like, I mean, the teaser was okay, but these two trailers with Han and Chewie at the end, and then the new one that they just did. Like, if there's an award for giving out for good trailers, like, they definitely should get some sort of recognition, because when you're advertising Star Wars, you have to play to a lot of people at the same time, you know, and that is not a.
Misa liked the trailer too.
No, have you seen the Jar Jar version? By the way,
the trailer, I saw the poster.
No. There was a poster. Someone also did a thing where they put Jar Jar in all of the, and it's both hilarious and it reminds you of all the things that you hated from the prequels. Now, I'm going to stay here for the record. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I do legitimately like Revenge of the Sith. It still has a lot of bad in it. I mean, you can't, you know.
I'm more of a fan of Attack of the Clones.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I mean, there's certain stuff to like in every one of the prequels, I guess, but I guess the most for me to like comes from Revenge of the Sith. I mean, I like the whole transformation to Vader. It's hard to still, get around Hayden Christensen's acting and everything, but I liked a lot of it. I guess I liked the quieter moments, like with him and the Emperor talking, like before he really learns who the Emperor is, and the Emperor is explaining to him about like what the Force is. But what I like is that he's explaining the dark side of the Force is not necessarily evil, but misunderstood, and it's that classic like.
That's him manipulating it.
Yeah, it's him manipulating, obviously, and everyone knows that. Yeah. But like the way that it's done, I thought was actually really well done for the way. I mean, Lucas at that point in his career, because so much backlash from the other two movies, and like that, it still came out pretty well for the most part. I mean, granted, yes, the prequels still do a lot of CGI and overuse and everything like that, but my favorite moments do come from the Revenge of the Sith. Like, you have the Obi-Wan Anakin battle. For years, I hated those two separatists, the guys with the fish faces who were like controlled the Trade Federation or something, and they're obviously on the side of the Emperor. And then, like, the Emperor just goes and has them murdered, and basically, and then they just get killed by Anakin. And I literally was like, yes, in theater when I saw that as a kid, because I was like, good. I hate those characters. Unfortunately, that couldn't happen with Jar Jar. But Jar Jar has no lines in the Revenge of the Sith, so that was also pretty good too. Or he does, and it's like, let's make the let's make the Federation a galactic empire. Oh, okay, Jar Jar. But anyway,
Jar Jar's an idiot.
Yes, he is. He definitely is. But so I can't state enough how much I'm excited for the new Star Wars. Like you said too, like hoping it's not crap. Knock knock. But as far as things are concerned, yeah, I think J.J. Abrams will direct it very well because you can tell he's already a huge Star Wars fan, especially if you've seen the new Star Trek movies, which you have not. And I think
not seen the new Star Trek now.
Yeah, we will. We'll definitely watch those before we see the new Star Wars, so you can understand what I'm talking about. But his directing, I'm not worried about. Actually, I'm actually more worried about the writing, and I'll basically try to make it as brief as I can.
Like the plot or the dialogue?
No, I mean I think the dialogue will be okay. I'm more worried about the plot. Well, basically what happened is they hired Michael Arndt from Pixar to write the screenplay, which was actually an amazing move because one of the best sequels of all time, in my opinion, was Toy Story 3. And that's what he wrote. He also wrote Little Miss Sunshine. But Toy Story 3 for me was one of the best movies because for me, like, how do you top Toy Story 1 and 2? Michael Arndt went in and wrote that screenplay. And I think that even got nominated for an Oscar. I could be wrong. About that. But Toy Story 3 was just an amazing film as far as being true to the characters, the series, the franchise, and giving a whole new chapter. So Michael Arndt was the perfect...
What are your fears? You said you didn't look for Star Wars then.
Well, what happened was... first off, I feel they've kind of rushed this movie. Like, they could have easily waited another year to make this film, but they kind of... The minute Lucas got... Like the minute the ink was dry on the contracts, they immediately went to work on doing a new Star Wars. I mean, but, that's business. That's how you have to do it.
Well, yeah, but then again, why would you wait if
well, I'm just saying.
Once you get the rights, wouldn't you be already planning?
Oh, I know,
like,
but we're
getting the rights to this series, we should plan on making a movie.
I know. Well, I'm just again, it could still come out fantastic for all I know. I mean, obviously, I'm not a business executive, but what happened was Michael Arndt did the screenplay, and then later at some point he left. They say due to time constrictions. And then J.J. Abrams came on with one of the original screenwriters, Lawrence Kasdan, who has an amazing screenwriting credit of working on Raiders of the Lost Ark and Empire and Return of the Jedi. So obviously the guy knows what he's doing. Now, Lawrence Kasdan actually hasn't done a whole lot since those movies. I mean, he did, I think, something called The Big Chill, which is supposed to be pretty good. But overall, he's really only known for those movies from back from the 80s because he just really made great screenplays for those types of films.
It's going to seem dated, or
no, not dated. I just don't think Lawrence Kasdan has been in that universe for a long time. But from what I know,
but maybe he never left.
I don't know. It's actually been a fake Lawrence Kasdan this whole time. But so no,
from wearing a cloak that's actually him in the trailer with a metal hand.
Why? So yeah, from what I know, Michael Arndt wrote a good screenplay. But from what I've heard, is the new screenplay concentrated a lot on more of the new characters rather than the original cast. And Disney and Lucasfilm wanted the opposite. They wanted to concentrate more on the original cast and what they've been doing since then, which I think is understandable because I think most of the fans would want to know that.
Up.
Exactly. So
VH1, where are they now?
But yeah, basically that's what happened. And so Michael Arndt wrote a good screenplay, but then basically J.J. and Lawrence Kasdan came on and rewrote it to focus more on the original cast. That's what I've heard. So I mean, it's not necessarily that Michael Arndt did a bad job or that he disagreed with Disney and just left of his own accord due to creative differences or something like that. But basically just that they need to change a few things, and Michael Arndt only had so much time on his hands. So I still think the movie could be fantastic. I'm just a little worried that they're still kind of rushing this film a little bit. But again, it could still come out amazing, and I hope for the best. And obviously, I'm very excited. So,
what would be the one aspect of it that you're most excited for?
Well, what do you mean?
Are you excited to find out who Kylo Ren is?
Yep, Kylo Ren definitely.
No, what I'm saying,
mainly it's Kylo Ren. I don't know I forget the name of their characters in the. I think it's the new guy, the guy from Attack the Block. I don't know the actor's name though. Yeah. I know he's really good in that movie, Attack the Block. But I believe his name is Finn in. Huh?
That's a cool movie too.
Very underrated film. Yeah. He's going to be in this, and his name is Finn, I believe, his character. And I forget the name of the girl character already, but I think
for the space battles look awesome.
Yeah, the space battles look amazing. I think the actress's name is Daisy Ridley, I think. But But anyway, she looks cool too. So I want to see what those three characters, what their stories are, where they're from, and then immediately after that, I want to know right away what happened with Leia, Han, and Luke, and where they're at, and what they've been up to. I feel like it's going to be a slow tease. The most interesting thing, though.
Well, we've already seen a bit of Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon in all the trailers.
And Chewie as well.
So,
yeah.
well, yeah.
And we've seen brief glimpses of Leia, but we know she's going to be a big part because I assume that she and Han are still married, are probably married at this point and still married. At least I assume so.
Maybe with the twins. Maybe not.
I don't know. It's hard to say. But again, like, we don't even know where they're at with their children. You and I have a bunch of theories about Luke having children, or them having children, or like where that
Luke
all
and
that.
Leia having children. They
No.
before.
No.
They wanted to keep the bloodline.
Let's not go Game of Thrones and talk about incest about the.
But then every female character could be naked.
Oh God. Including Leia. No. 1983, Carrie Fisher, please. Man, I'm going to probably go to. I haven't got tickets yet, but I'm still probably going to go to Rhode Island Comic Con. I'm going to actually get to meet Carrie Fisher. I think that'll be cool. Be a long line though, but I think it'll be great to meet her. I can't wait to see her. Did you know she was actually a script doctor?
You show up, but then there's like 6 people in line.
Like what? No. But no, she was really cool. She apparently was like a script doctor in the 90s. She worked on like Lethal Weapon and Hook and like a bunch of other films and stuff like that. She's had a really cool career as far as Hollywood's concerned. But anyway, overall I'm really excited on the new trailer. I'm excited in general for Star Wars again. It's good. It's good to feel excited. Because it was one thing. It was one thing, obviously, when the series ended in general, the movies, and then they had all that other bullshit, like the Clone Wars animated TV show. There's the Dexter's Laboratory guy, Gendy Trabowski, I think his name is.
A bunch of Clone Wars stuff.
Well, his stuff was great. I liked his stuff, but I'm talking about the 3D animation series was just awful. The movie looked awful. I seen parts of it. It was awful. And I guess the show eventually got better at some point, but I was so done with Star Wars at that point. I just couldn't.
Battlefront game looks awesome.
Oh yeah, well don't even get me started on that. I was playing the old Battlefront today, and I still love playing that game. I want to get the new one. I think you said either I'm going to get it or you're going to get it at some point.
Well, I don't have any of the systems that it's going to be on, so it's not going to be me.
I don't know. You're just saying if I don't get it, you're going to buy it or something. I don't know.
Oh, I'll end up probably if I ever. What is it called, like PS4?
PS4, probably Xbox One, I think. But well, I was saying to you, my issue with it is that I don't mind having it be multiplayer, which is fine. I figured that right away. But from what I've heard, there's going to be no single player campaign, which for me kind of pisses me off.
Silly.
Because like I like the idea of just being a lone little rebel or like a lone stormtrooper just running around shooting people. That's what I enjoyed about the original Battlefront. I mean, look,
I enjoy being a guy running around shooting people.
I like being a psychopath. No, look, but yeah, that's what I generally enjoyed about that series. I mean, granted, obviously you can have fun with the multiplayer and like 2 players and online play and all that other stuff, but like, I mean, my theory is that it'll be huge, it'll be a big launch, and then maybe at some point they might add a single player campaign to get people to keep playing the game, like a year after it's come out or something. But who knows? But yeah, it's going to be a huge fucking game. I can't wait for that either. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's get actually to start talking about superheroes. This will be the last topic of the night, I think. So Jessica Jones trailer just came out a little while ago. You've seen it. I've seen it. I'll start with you. What are your thoughts?
I think it looks good. I'm excited for that too. I mean, when they first announced they were doing the TV shows, and before Daredevil came out, I was skeptical because I was like, I don't know how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Daredevil came out. Daredevil was awesome, and so now it's like, all right, let's see what else they're gonna do. Like season 2 of Daredevil's coming out. I haven't seen the trailers for that yet. I know that there's one lurking around out there.
No, there is, but it has very brief new footage. But it does show Elektra. It shows like glimpses of Punisher and stuff like that.
And so, it makes me excited for this one. Then I saw the trailer for Jessica Jones, and it looks good, and it looks even darker than Daredevil, with David Tennant there being all
the Purple Man.
yeah. Like, hey, I'm gonna make this entire police station all have guns on each other.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look it, I'm going to make people kill themselves. Like,
yeah, man. It's,
I love him as an actor, just
oh
from
yeah, he's
Doctor
awesome.
Who and from other stuff, and he just seems like a fun person.
Yeah, Marvel like got on the on that because they're like, well, it's only a matter of time before DC hires him as the Riddler, so let's just grab him up before they do anything with him. So that was smart on their part, I guess. But yeah, Purple Man is definitely one of the most underrated villains in Marvel history. Brian Michael Bendis really loves the Purple Man. It's really utilized him a lot in stories in general, dealing with Avengers and/or Jessica Jones. But yeah, actually, well, you know that I know the source material pretty well. Before the show was announced, before even seeing the trailer, how much did you actually know about Jessica Jones?
Not much.
Yeah. She, I'll give people, I guess, a brief history lesson. So, I don't know the specifics because I'm still having trouble finding stuff from her past, but from what I know, she was basically like a C-list level superhero that I think was originally created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko back in the day, or something like that. Well, she's mentioned, I think, in the Spider-Man comics. I don't know. But anyway, she was this, and this is the comics, this isn't the show, because I think the show is going to be a bit different. But in the comic books, she was Jessica Jones, but also known as Jewel, for a little while. And then something happens to her with the Purple Man, and it fucks up pretty much whatever remained of her career. And then she kind of goes like underground for a little while, and then she becomes a private eye. Well, she also becomes this character called Nitrous. But
she was created by Bendis.
She was created by Bendis. Okay, I thought that she. Well, you know what he could have done. He might have made the character and then made talking about her being back in the old days, because apparently she's been around since her whole character has been has lived out like she went to high school with the original 616 Peter Parker, and stuff like that. So, but if she's made by Bendis, that makes total sense. But I mean, anyone who doesn't understand or know Marvel Comics, Bendis pretty much has.
That she was created in 2001.
Yeah, well, Bendis has made it pretty much a cornerstone of all great new Marvel stories and stuff like that. He pretty much him and Mark Miller as well, more with the Ultimate stuff, but still huge stuff. So yeah, well anyway, she makes a private eye place, and she makes Alias Investigations, and there was a series called Alias, and it was all about her being a private eye and talking about her past and whatnot. But yeah, she's part of the Defenders group. She basically she hangs out with Luke Cage and Danny Rand, aka Iron Fist, in the comics and stuff like that. She knows who they are, and they know who she is. And yeah, basically, I mean, this is spoilers in the comics. At some point down the line, she ends up having a kid with Luke Cage, and then they end up getting married and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's really cool though, and I like how Bendis made up her character and just gave her a history and everything like that. It's really cool. But also, again, he utilized Purple Man a lot in that series later down the road, and Purple Man is a very scary villain. And honestly, I think he's made even more terrifying in the TV show, and that's saying something as far as his power level and what he can do. So, yeah. But any other thoughts you have on Jessica Jones?
Well, on the actual show itself, it looks good. But what I'm more excited for is with this whole Marvel and Netflix thing, where it seems like they're making it darker, they're making it more adult.
Yeah.
Daredevil isn't as goofy as the Avengers movies.
No, it's not.
It's not as there's not all the one-liners, and there's not all the stuff like that. And I like that there's a good mix between them.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm excited for them to have more adult-ish themes going with different characters.
The main complaint is from a lot of Marvel and regular moviegoers, and what DC is trying to capitalize on as well too now, is that Marvel is more goofy and family friendly, and not so down to earth and dark. And so, but then they realize,
you don't need that all the time.
No, and I mean, you don't need to be dark, and you don't need to be happy all the time either. But they were smart. Marvel was smart as well and realized, okay, so we can do Avengers, and then we can do street level Defenders and make that through all the TV series.
Yeah.
And we'll also have a lot more room to do whatever we need to do because we'll have a lot more time to tell a whole story. So it'll be really good. And
I also feel like certain characters work better.
Daredevil especially works better as a TV show.
TV shows rather than movies.
For sure. And even Jessica Jones will be really cool. Luke Cage will be a following next, and then now people want Iron Fist to happen, but there's talk basically that mainly they're either having trouble finding someone to play Danny Rand, for someone that they really want, or showrunners for the show. So people are assuming that Luke Cage is going to happen, and then at some point they're actually going to do Punisher. And then maybe sometime down the line, Moon Knight. But primarily what they want to do is they want...
Moon Knight? You think Moon Knight?
Well, everyone keeps talking Moon Knight, and I think if fans keep talking enough...
For a TV show, they should do a Blade TV show, which...
They're already working on... Well, they're already working...
HBO,
yeah, they're already working on...
Nobody ever watched.
Yeah,
and,
no...
I also think a Ghost Rider TV show would be good, because Ghost Rider is like one of those... He'd work better as an episodic character.
I'm going to say this right now, because I think the Blade thing is, I think, on the way of happening, because Wesley Snipes keeps going on about that for some reason. Yeah. But they're really working on something dealing with Blade, I know that much. As for Ghost Rider, I think that's a cool concept, but it's really...
You'll watch it.
Well, I'd watch it, but it's kind of up in the rafters right now. I think it's also because Ghost Rider is such a powerful character, one, and two, he's very much a supernatural part of the Marvel Universe. And they've only really tapped into magic and the dark and the light, but they haven't really gone into the supernatural.
Doctor Strange is coming in soon.
Again, so they're working towards that. So maybe sometime down the line, but probably going to be a while before we see Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
They might want to ease people in with Doctor Strange and then see how that goes, and then see if they can expand from there. You know? Like, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the Thor movie, but they kind of hit the ground running and just try to see people how we're with magic, and then once they established magic, then they established it in Captain America and the whole cube, and then they went from there. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what they do, and we'll see how the future goes down. But I definitely would be on board for a Punisher TV series, especially. I think that would be great.
Punisher TV series would be fun.
Yeah, I think they also just want to see though too how well. I assume he'll do really well, but they also want to see how the new guy. I know his name, John Brethenol. I think. Yeah, also from Wolf of Wall Street. That's what I've really seen him in, and I thought it was a very small role, but he made a presence, and he was very, very funny, and I thought he did a good job in that part. So I'll be interested to see his take on Frank Castle, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes, and I think that's about it. Is there any other closing thoughts you wanted to have as far as Marvel or Star Wars related while we're on it?
Right now on these topics, not really.
Okay.
I'll be more talkative on other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much you can talk about a trailer without starting to really get into like theories and hypotheses.
All right, well, let's go over our two theories as far as what we think.
Which ones? For Star Wars?
Well, mostly with Kylo Ren. My theory is that it is Luke's son, because his obsession with Darth Vader, for one. I think what happened is something bad has happened to Luke, and I think what happened was, knowing what happened to his father, the first thing that he did, establishing the new Jedi Order, is he made sure to settle down and have children, to continue the Skywalker line, for one, because he knew they'd be powerful Jedi. And so I think he had a son, and at some point his son turned to the dark side. Because as far as I can tell through at least the movies, is that the dark side is a lot easier for a lot of people. It's sort of like the easy way out. You know, you accomplish more because you use your anger, and you get a lot more done faster. But in the process it kind of corrupts your soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've seen, and from the movies and stuff like that. So maybe his son and or a student, you know, sees the advantages, and he's like, why don't we do it this way? Why do we keep doing it the Yoda way? The Yoda way's lame, Dad, or something like that. But he gets corrupted, and he goes to the dark side. Maybe he ends up killing like some of Luke's other students or Padawans. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then what would Luke do? He would feel like shit. He would go into self-exile. and then like maybe not. I mean, obviously he already basically killed his dad, so he's not gonna go and kill like his son because that's even more fucked up. And then his son just kind of just goes about his own path.
He didn't kill his dad.
Well, no, he didn't
He
kill.
like barely even.
Well, I mean, okay.
He defended himself, and then the Emperor killed Darth.
I know. But what I'm saying is like he basically, no, he doesn't kill his dad. You're right. He does like he's like, no, I'm not gonna kill my dad. And the Emperor's like, well, fine, fuck you. And then like,
lightning fingers.
But he basically had to watch his dad die. He has to kill. If he had to kill his son, it'd be even more fucked up. I know. That's my theory. Your theory is similar, but you think it's the Solo twins.
I think I'm hoping it's the Solo twins, whereas the girl there who's all like, "Oh, I'm nobody," be like, "Well, no,
yeah, no, you're somebody.
You're Han Solo's daughter," and then the other Kylo Ren is the son. Whom, similar to you, what you think is that he has the Force in him because Leia is a Skywalker. So
yeah.
And even in the trailer, he's like, my father had it, I have it, my sister had it, and and you have it. He's talking to somebody.
He's probably talking to her, I assume.
One of them is because then she could be like the light side of the twins, and he could be the dark side of the twins.
Oh.
So then when he goes to train, he becomes dark,
and she becomes light.
Leaves. And then that makes like Han Solo and Luke kind of have like a little tiff, or maybe Han Solo and Leia kind of have like a tiff, like they're kind of mad at each other. We gave you our son, and now he's evil.
Yeah, and just to be clear, people who don't know, because I know some people don't know the extended universe, and I myself don't. But in the extended universe, they did have twins. Oh, yeah. So I just want to make that clear. So, but yeah, and even like her herself probably were just like, yeah, Dad, like I'm just gonna leave and just forget about the Jedi ways because look what it did to my brother. He was fucking insane.
And then that's why when somebody asks her like, "Who are you?" "Oh, I'm nobody." That would be interesting because like she's trying to hide and be nobody.
Yeah, good luck with that. Let me tell you, hiding on a sand planet only works for like 20 years. In this,
really?
There's
like no other planets in the outer rim?
No, everyone has told me that, well, I don't know. I keep hearing conflicting reports. I've basically heard that, like, Kylo Ren isn't necessarily supposed to be, like, a full Sith. And that the sand planet that we see in the trailers is not supposed to be Tatooine. But
no, that'd be cool then.
I don't know, but we'll see what they do. We'll see how...
It's not Tatooine, it's Tatooine!
No. That's no. They're not going to play George R. Martin and make really confusing, similar naming, sounding things. Oh yeah, Lord of the Rings aspect too as well. Jesus. But no. Either way, man, I'm really excited.
And do we think Chewbacca's going to die?
Yeah, everyone is either thinking Han or Chewbacca or both.
No, they won't kill Han Solo.
I don't know, man. Harrison Ford's like, well, you can do it now. George didn't have the balls to do it back in '83, but now it's happening. If they kill Han Solo, I will...
The meme out there, it's true. All of it. Even that stuff about Greedo shooting first?
No!
Get out!
Yeah, we've heard many different versions of the story. Is it all true? Yes, all the versions are true. But yeah. I love the idea and the fact that the original trilogy has now become like myth to other people, though, like 30 years on. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, like, basically, like, Han's like a god in a sense, basically. He's like, yeah, all that stuff happened.
Celeb status, yo.
Yeah, man. YOLO. I don't know. Han would never say YOLO.
Why did you just say YOLO?
Han would never say YOLO. Good. I'm sorry. I apologize. What did I want to state? But yeah, I love Harrison Ford. He's like one of my...
Why did you marry him?
Shut up. He's one of my favorite actors ever, pretty much. He's like the quintessential new version of John Wayne. Like, I can't off the bat think of any more... Indiana Jones and Han Solo
Who would win in a fight, Indiana Jones or Han Solo?
It depends on the turf and depend on where and depend on the writer.
Okay.
But, honestly, like, I can't think of two bigger, like, male characters that little boys, and let's admit it, women too, like, kind of looked up to as children. I mean, you've got like Rambo or John McClane or something like that, but like they kind of pale in comparison as far as like the new like those versions of Han Solo. And
well, no, John McClane comes close.
John McClane's pretty cool, but I mean, did he beat up Nazis?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I guess Al Rickman kind of counts as a Nazi-ish, thiefish. I don't know. Anyway, That's. But you know what? Han Solo wins by default because, or Indy and Han win by default because Harrison Ford did not become a prima donna
No.
like Bruce Willis did. Actually, Harrison Ford took the place of Bruce Willis when he got fired from Expendables 3. So there you go, right there. Harrison Ford wins. There you go.
Okie dokie.
All right. All right. That's all I got to say. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Any other closing thoughts?
No, this'll be a wrap.
All right, man.
I think we'll do another one midweek or so.
If we want, I don't know.
Come up with some other topics.
Yeah, don't make any promises yet. I mean, I think we've got 2 viewers at this point, so I think we're on a roll.
Hey, my mom listened to half of it.
Before she got bored and fell asleep?
No, before she had breakfast.
Oh, well, alright. That's nice for her. She's a nice lady. Alright, guys. Signing off. Your host, Paul Michaels, and my co-host...
I'm KJ McDermott.
Alright. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a